And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, bankruptcy law, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goal remains the same. We're going to educate, we're going to entertain you a little bit, we're going to have some fun in our Name That Tune, but ultimately we want to engage you in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want you to save our hotline number. This way you can engage with us, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. And we would like for you to bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you at our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our 80-plus show partners there, former expert contributors there as well. So anything that you hear on the show today or any previous days and weeks, we would love for you to engage with us and send us an email contact form directly through consumerqb.com. We got our daily TV show on WeBeam TV as well. You can stream our show live from our website as well at consumerqb.com. 10 a.m. weekdays on WeBeam TV, and daily 5 o'clock drive time right here on 1380 The Biz. On the weekends, syndicated on 102.5 The Bone. Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me today. Back in studio, Jason Brooks, mortgage expert for eMortgage Management, the Delbro team. Welcome in, sir.
Thank you, sir. I got here just on time. Sorry about the little delay. All is well. Wanted to talk a little bit today about some of the things that are happening with, the real estate side, and also talk a little bit about what we're doing for our veterans through the holidays.
I love that. Yeah, we'll talk about the veterans, help them out. We also offer a discount rebate back to any veteran that buys or sells with Platinum MVP Realty. We're going to give you a half a point discount directly back to you at closing. So to help our veterans out there, we have a definitely a strong place in our heart for them. We also have a story that we'll kind of mix in here with Jason's content. So you'd like to buy a new single-family home, you may be in luck. So we're talking about an interesting story that talks about how builders are planning to put up more homes and some of the inventory numbers that we'll talk about. Also in studio, attorney Shawn Yesner, real estate and bankruptcy attorney, and also has a popular podcast as well. Welcome in, Shawn.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is going to be an adventure with my sinuses going haywire this morning.
Yeah, fighting through it.
There we go. Power through it.
That's right. Good stuff, man. And so we were talking a little bit about the coaching carousel that happens every year too in sports. We'll maybe mix some of that in today's show. But we've got Name That Tune coming up. We like to have a little fun with you. Today's list features Grammy Award winners for Song of the Year in our Name That Tune. And we also have our Feel Good Story of the Week. We're always going to tell you something good in our positive segment called Tell Me Something Good in our Feel Good segment there. And we always start off as a published author and professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves. We always want to start off with a little personal development and talk to you about how you can live a better life. Amazon.com, by the way, is where our book is at. But what we talk about here is The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do. Is a great book by Charles Duhigg. It talks about the framework of the book was to identify a routine, experiment with rewards. You want to isolate the cue and have a plan. So the cue is going to be that thing that happens at the 3 o'clock afternoon. You're saying, hey, I'm sitting at my desk. I want something salty. I want a sweet snack. You're going to go and grab a donut or something that's not going to be good for your diet. The routine is what follows after that. And the reward is the taste that you get from that. So MIT research shows that as step one, you're going to identify the routine, which is a neurological loop that consists of 3 parts. It's the cue, the routine, and reward. So you want to understand your own habits, and you need to identify the different components of your habits and your loops. So once diagnosed the habit loop, you look to supplant the old vices with new routines and examples. We've all heard of that. For the smoker, they have the smokeless cigars now, or are the different types of ways that they can do that. Put a replacement in there. So afternoon cookie, the chat with colleagues. What is it when you get up from your desk? You go to chat with your colleagues. Is it the camaraderie that you like, or is it the food that you're the cookie, the sugar rush from the cookie? So you want to have willpower that's defeated by the reward. Identify the routine. And understand why you're doing that, and then ultimately check out that book, Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg, rather. Really good book I read there. But there's your 2-minute drill helping you win. Calling that audible. All right, we're back here in studio, so let's go ahead and jump into it, Jason. So Jason Brooks, he's a highly respected mortgage expert here in Tampa Bay. He's got his own team over there at E-Mortgage Management, the Del Bro team. And it's an interesting time in the market right now. There's still a lack of inventory. I think a lot of people are still trying to get those last end of the year buys in for tax purposes, for moving purposes, homestead exemption purposes. A lot of reasons why people might want to make a move right now.
Absolutely. What we see more than anything else is we get a lot of customers that have come that have tried to get a loan somewhere, and we're told that they weren't ready or they couldn't qualify, or they qualified them at a much lower purchase price than they actually were looking at. Again, one of the things I try to tell everybody is get a second opinion. Always, you want to follow up. FDIC charters, your big banks, things like that, they're very limited as to what they can do in comparison to what we can do.
Right.
So that being said, a lot of the times, like I'll give you an example. I have a referral partner that does a lot of business with me, and they have their own mortgage company. It's actually a builder, and I typically, when I end up getting one of their turndowns, they end up with a better loan to begin with than they would have gotten from them, and we're able to do it very quickly and efficiently. So I love that relationship. It's a great relationship. It's a very easy conversation. And at the end of the day, a lot of these people didn't realize that if you didn't, if somebody told you no, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a no. It's just no with them.
Yeah.
So it allows us to do a lot of things that just other banks just can't do. So
and they might not want to do it. You mentioned last time on the show that they have certain overlays that may affect that decision. When it's a builder, in particular, the builder's kind of building in extra fees for their own. They're vertically integrating. Can't blame them for taking advantage of capitalism. But
right.
Is that one of the reasons why you see that?
Again, I just think they have a different risk threshold than we do.
Right.
Risk threshold is essentially all loans are a product of risk. Your price of your loan, which is your interest rate and your closing cost, is the same thing. That's the price of your loan. That's all risk based. So if they have a low appetite for risk, or if they, quite frankly, what I see a lot of the times is they just don't know how to underwrite self-employed income. They truly just don't know how to look at it properly and how to package it properly. A lot of the files I get, it wasn't that we were a miracle worker. It's just that we knew how to underwrite that particular income in that particular case, and we were able to present it properly and get it cleared to close.
Yeah, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Jason Brooks, mortgage expert with E-Mortgage Management, the Del Bro team. So, Jason, when you look about, you think about the industry as a whole, the real estate business is very competitive. A lot of, realtors coming in, a lot of newbies calling up with some crazy questions and, can't use a lockbox and some of these challenges. And in the mortgage industry, it's very low entry as well.
Right.
So I think that's why, number one, we bring on experts like you onto our show to educate and enlighten the listeners out there. What about some of these folks that are talking about no closing costs? We're going to pay all your fees, no lender fees. Yeah. What's the deal with that?
And so again, that's very popular. I hear that quite a bit on the radio and on TV now too. And look, at the end of the day, we all get our money from the same place.
Right.
Like I just said before, your interest rate and your closing costs, that's the same thing. That's the price of your loan. So those fees, state doc stamps, intangible tax, transfer taxes, setting up an escrow account, paying your title fees, title insurance, title endorsement, title exam, all those things, those are actually there. It's not like those can go away. Those are
the governor's got to play golf.
Those are third-party fees. Exactly.
Right.
Those are being paid to somebody at some point. So there's multiple different ways you can look at that. Sometimes it makes more sense to actually pay the fees because it's a better rate long term. It's a better loan long term.
Right.
You can also inflate the interest rate to cover your closing costs, which is a lot of what you end up hearing about out there. Pretty much anybody that is in this business has the ability to do a no closing cost loan. It's just whether that makes the most sense for the client or not. So I'll give you an example. On a 30-year fixed rate, if you bought your rate down by 0.5% and it costs you on a $200,000 loan, it costs you $4,000 to buy that rate down 0.5%. that $4,000 you invested saves you about $18,000 over the life of the loan. So
Right.
it makes perfect sense to do that. And on top of that, the buy down, the prepaid interest on the front end of the loan becomes a tax deduction because it's prepaid interest you're paying on the front end. So a lot of the times we give the same option. If somebody comes to me and says, well, I hear about this no closing cost deal. Do you have that too? And I show them side by side. And 99% of the people are going to choose the one that has the fees in it because it's such a better long-term investment if you're
Right.
going to keep that loan. If you're not going to keep the loan and you're only going to have it for a limited amount of time, we look at fixed adjustable, something that's fixed for a 3-year time frame with low cost and low rate on top of it, so that you are not going to have the loan for more than 2 to 3 years anyway, and you're going to dump it and walk out. Either sell the house or move or
Makes
refinance.
sense. Yeah.
So there's more than one way to skin the cat. I take a lot of time to actually explain the process and educate the consumer, not just for this transaction, but for transactions to come.
Right.
Which is obviously something that creates a lot of value, which is why I get a lot of referrals.
Super important. Absolutely. Let's shift gears. Let's talk about this article we brought in. It says, so you'd like to buy a new single-family home, you may be in luck. Those frustrated by the lack of single-family houses on the market may soon get a little relief. Builders are planning to put up more new homes in the coming months. Finally, it says, builders secured 5.9% more permits, a strong indicator of the number of new homes to come in October than in September, according to seasonally adjusted numbers. So this article, it was talking about the in the Northeast, it's kind of slowing down because of the climate. But in Tampa Bay, we're seeing a lot of construction, a lot of starts, new housing starts.
10 years ago, 12 years ago, before the bubble, I guess you could say, or before the pop, builders were actually building they were building inventory homes. So they may be building 10, 15, 20 homes at a time that are not in contract, and knowing that by the time that they get completed, they're going to be able to sell those pretty quickly. They stopped doing that for the most part. Now, as a home goes under contract, it's starting to be built. So there could be a 6, 8, 9 month time frame. Well, if you're anything like me, I don't like to wait 6, 8, 9 months for anything, let alone for my house to be built. So I think what you're seeing is a shift to where some of the builders are starting to build homes without them being under contract and actually have some inventory for a buyer that's coming in that only has a 2 or 3 month time frame to get into a new home and be able to buy something and move in quickly, as opposed to buying a piece of dirt and waiting 9 months for it to be built or 6 months to be built. So I think it's a smart move. I think, again, a lot of that had to do with they got stuck in the 06, 07, 08 timeframe where they had a lot of inventory homes that didn't sell, or they had a price point that was much too high based on when they originally started the building. But yeah, at the end of the day, there's been an inventory issue nationwide for quite some time. So, and definitely here in this area.
Yeah, 2.2 months of inventory, whether it's single-family homes or townhouses, condos. I was just reading Tampa Magazine before I came in. So when you think about that opportunity, there's still a limited supply of vacant land inventory. Yeah. And a lot of times, luckily we were able to find a nice lot on a lake in Pinellas County, a nice lake. But when you look at that opportunity, there is vacant land, and then you're kind of in the driver's seat. It's going to take you, depending on the square footage you build, it's going to take you several months, a few to several months to build it. But that's a pretty cool process, for somebody out there that's saying, hey, I don't like all this older inventory. I know about those 203K loans that are available that you can do the renovations on. But, we've got home builders that we work with. You guys can help them with construction loans, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I do construction to perm, which would be you buying the land and choosing your own builder and getting it built on your own.
Right.
And then most builders build to be built. So they basically, you go under contract, you give a deposit, but they're financing the construction. Right. That's considered an end loan. When it's completed, the certificate of occupancy is issued. That's when we come in and actually complete the transaction.
Perfect. More from Jason Brooks. Shawn Yesner's in the house as well. He's a bankruptcy attorney, real estate attorney. When we come back, and we've got our feel-good story of the week as well. This is a good one here. Community raises money for woman with cerebral palsy whose bike was stolen. So good story here in our feel-good story. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Got a couple of hot listings. Price reduction on this beautiful duplex in St. Pete Beach, 3610 Casablanca Avenue, St. Pete Beach, Don Cesar, just north of the Don Cesar and just south of the Hotel Zamora, our official hotel partner on the beach there. Beautiful opportunity, rare find on the beaches of St. Petersburg. Also a hot property up in Clearwater Beach. We've got 2 hot beach properties here available. 1024 Mandalay Avenue in Clearwater. This is in the Mandalay subdivision. 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, $749,000, 1,860 square feet. 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, completely renovated. Beautiful property, nice beach feel to it. Great properties here from Platinum MVP Realty. And let's give a shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill. Man, I got to tell you, I love having lunch over there. We have some great lunches. Our team comes over. Some of our partners come and join us as well from time to time. But Brio Tuscan Grill is at the International Plaza Mall, and it's a beautiful Italian menu, signature drinks, and a cozy atmosphere, bringing you the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa to Tampa. We invite you to make your reservation today and try the Italian menu. Enjoy the best Italian restaurant dining experience. Brio Tuscan Grill, located off of Bay Street next to the Renaissance Tampa Hotel International Plaza, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. They're going to hook you up with that free water with lemon every time. They're going to take care of you over there. Coming up, we got our Name That Tune segment, and we also have our Feel Good Story of the Week. In studio with me today, we've got Jason Brooks, mortgage expert, E-Mortgage Management, the Dale Bro team, as well as Shawn Yesner, attorney Shawn Yesner, real estate attorney, bankruptcy attorney, and he also has his own podcast as well, Crushing Debt Podcast, very popular and growing in its downloads as well. So, welcome in, Shawn. What you seeing out there?
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. The podcast is growing. We're getting ready to celebrate in February, episode 100 of the podcast. So I'm excited, trying to figure out if I want to do something special or just another episode, business as usual. But the big thing in my world, in the bankruptcy world, there was recently a revision to the bankruptcy plan. So someone who wants to file a Chapter 13, a repayment plan, there was recently a change that I don't think anybody really liked, but the judges and the trustees did it. So what happened was the plan now provides that there's going to be an additional 10% added into the bankruptcy payment to pay the trustees' fees. Now, the trustees always got a piece of the bankruptcy plan payments. So this This is nothing new.
Wow.
What's new about it is that it's set at 10%. The trustees used to have leeway in terms of if they could run their office on 6%, then they would get 6%. If they needed 5%, if they needed 8%, whatever it was they needed to run their office is what they would be able to charge against the bankruptcy payments. So put it in perspective. If we're going to pay, say, $900 a month on a bankruptcy plan, really that payment's going to be like $990 to $1,000 a month to pay the trustee that additional $100, because I get it. They've got expenses too. They've got to run their offices. They've got, attorneys that represent them. They've got to account for all this. They're getting millions and millions of dollars in and out of their bank accounts. So I'm not arguing that they don't deserve to be paid. They absolutely do deserve to be paid. But now what the bankruptcy plan says is that they get 10% of the payment, whether they need 10% or not.
Wow.
And if they don't need 10% of the payment, then the creditors get that extra money. So
how do you determine need, I guess, is the question, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling that both of our Chapter 13 trustees are suddenly going to run their offices at 10%.
Yeah.
Right.
And earn all of that money.
It's like the budget. It's just like the middle manager that the budget rolls over, from month to month. If they don't use it, they lose it, right?
Right. So they're going to end up using it. So that was the big change. But, it's... We'll figure it out. We'll roll with the punches. We'll overcome. It'll just have to be factored in. If you're considering doing a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, having the trustee add 10% to the payment shouldn't stop you. If you need to file, you need to file, and we'll figure out a way to do it.
Any cool celebrity bankruptcies lately, or what are you seeing on that front? I know I love some of your LinkedIn posts. You kind of highlight the latest celebrity or person that's kind of going through that process. I
don't recall any recently off the top of my head. I mean, you've got all the famous ones, the Warren Sapp and the Trump, Kiyosaki. Not Kiyosaki personally, but one of his companies had to file bankruptcy. Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of his companies, had to file bankruptcy. So you've always got the famous ones floating around. I know 50 Cent was a good one. Yeah, he was posing with all kinds of fake money. Yeah, and the bankruptcy trustee said, "Wait a minute, if that's real money, it belongs to the bankruptcy estate." Yeah. The judge got a little upset at him for posing with all that fake money, but
that's part of his persona, though.
Yeah, but no, nothing that I've heard of recently. Nothing. Yeah. No big names that I've heard of recently, but I can double check.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see that and kind of relate it. And of course, when it comes to politics, it's you filed bankruptcy, but that when you're running a real estate empire like that, there's a lot of opportunity for failure. Contractors don't show up. There's a lot of different issues. And then it's interesting that Kiyosaki, because he's got information products out there where he's selling those models. And of course, Sapp and some of the athletes, that's well documented. They've got ESPN specials where they're talking about the amount of athletes that go from a first round draft pick or even top draft picks to bankruptcy after their short career is over.
Yeah, because they don't learn how to manage. So you have a 19-year-old kid that's an 18-year-old kid that's the stud on campus, making all kinds of plays and getting all kinds of reviews and cheers, gets drafted in the first round, is surrounded by all these people. Yeah. None of them are teaching him how to spend his money.
Yeah, and they're all trying to get some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny to watch when you think about, what do you expect when you give a 19 or 20-year-old kid, $7 million sign-on bonus. It's they just think that's going to be the kind of money they're going to make forever. Yeah. So
it's very nice.
Yeah. Party time,
exactly. Their bills don't care that they stopped, making that kind of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and a lot of times they're focusing on their job. They're focusing on their profession. They're not focusing on their money. So they've got other people spending it for them. Yeah. All the other people that surround them and, hey, I didn't care about you at all, but now you're a first-round draft pick. I'm your best buddy. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Out of the woodwork. The cousin comes out of the woodwork and people looking to, jump in there, and everybody's got a business idea. Everybody's got, some Iraqi dinari, currency they can sell you, some Bitcoin,
and
there's always something.
And,
always something that you got to get into, man. It's too late if you don't, but all right. So more from our expert contributors. We got attorney Shawn Yesner, real estate attorney, bankruptcy law attorney here in Tampa Bay. He can help you if you or someone is in that position. It's just a phone call away, 813-673 813-670-7372, 670-7372, and that's our hotline. You can call or text that line, consumerqb.com. Just submit the form at consumerqb.com. There's an email form that comes directly through to us. We'll get you in touch with attorney Shawn Yesner for all your bankruptcy and any type of real estate law you might need. And, of course, Jason Brooks in the house as well. He's mortgage expert, mortgage management, and the Dale Bro team. So stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, we got our Name That Tune segment. We have our Feel Good Story of the Week. Community raises money for woman with cerebral palsy whose bike was stolen. So that's our Feel Good Story of the Week. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Two Maids and a Mop, the official cleaning partner here at the Consumer Quarterback Show. They provide excellent service, and a clean house helps you feel better, helps you operate better. It's part of your environment. You know, it's helping you just be in that better mood. Two Maids and a Mop also offers free cleaning to cancer patients. Very cool of them to do that. Very charitable of Two Maids and a Mop. And with Two Maids and a Mop, your approval rating matters. The pay rate for the staff is based on your evaluation. If you need a cleaning company, it's Two Maids and a Mop, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, got a couple of hot listings. I'm the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. I want to let you know about a price reduction. We just reduced this property at 10217 Timberland Point Drive in Tampa. This is in the Arbor Green subdivision, gated community, $329,000. Just reduced significantly, over a $20,000 price cut. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, and it's completely renovated, updated. 4 bedrooms plus a bonus room upstairs, over 3,900 total square feet on this beautiful property. $329,000. A great buying opportunity on Timberland Point in Tampa. Also in the old northeast section of St. Petersburg. This is 215 12th Avenue Northeast, St. Pete. 4 bedrooms, 5 bath, $1.19 million listing here. And it's a pre-construction, beautiful property here. 3,688 square feet. Great buying opportunity here. Compliments of Platinum MVP Realty. And we are back here in studio. Jason Brooks in the house, mortgage expert with eMortgage Management, also the Del Bro team, and attorney Shawn Yesner in the house, real estate and bankruptcy law, and Crushing Debt podcast. You got episode number 100 coming up. Shawn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do something special or if I just want to run another episode, but we'll see. We'll figure it out.
We're mixing it up next year. We're going to be doing some live events. We're going to be doing some on location. So we might, who knows, we might be like a Wednesday night over at Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza, 5 o'clock drive time. We're kind of mixing it up too next year.
That'll be cool. I actually even got a solicitation today to see if I wanted to have my show appear on FM radio. I don't quite know yet. Radio and podcast, two different mediums, but we'll see. It's cool to get solicited by people for that kind of stuff.
That's neat. Yeah, it's really neat. Yeah, awesome. So when we talk about the end of the year, here we are. It's end of the year. What kind of seasonally appropriate advice do you have, Shawn, for folks out there? They might be looking at debt. They might be considering a real estate move. What's kind of topical for your mindset here when you're thinking end of the year planning, seasonally appropriate advice?
Yeah, well, I know this time last year we were focused on all the Obama programs, the HAMP, the HARP, the HAFA, all that kind of stuff that would help people that were having trouble making mortgage payments. All of those programs, all those laws pretty much went away at the end of 2016. So now as we approach the end of 2017, we're still seeing defaults for the same reason we've always seen people in foreclosure. They get divorced, they get medical issues, they get a loss of income, pay decrease, loss of job, whatever. Mm-hmm. So if you're finding yourself in that situation, give me a call, give the bank a call. There's still programs, even though HAMP and HARP and HAFA and that stuff is gone, there's still programs out there that'll help. But in terms of getting ready for year end, I think it's the same old advice that we've always been giving. If I helped save someone money the other day because they were looking at a contract to buy a piece of property, and the sellers were insisting on a January 3rd close date. I said, why January? Back it up a few days.
Yeah.
The sellers may have to incur some type of tax. I think it was their homestead, so they wouldn't have had to have worried about it. It would not have been taxed as a capital gain because it was their primary residence. But for the buyer, get title prior to the beginning of the year, and then you can apply for the homestead exemption.
Right.
Apply at the end of 17, apply for the homestead exemption for 18, and you'll get it. Rather than closing the beginning of 18, and now you got to wait all the way until 19 to apply for the exemption. So, things like that, making sure you're getting with your tax preparer if you're a small business owner, self-employed, to make sure that all that stuff is set up properly, taxes, withholdings, all that kind of stuff. The typical normal year-end stuff that you would think about.
Yeah, and when you think about the end of the year change and the homestead exemption, it seems like something that the taxing authorities, the property appraisers should be able to get together and figure out. Hey, there's got to be some kind of a way we can prorate this.
Yeah, you'd think, but at the end of the day, they're out to make tax revenue as well. So
right.
Uncle Sam has his hand out; he wants his cut.
That's right.
So if you're looking at buying a house, I would say close in 2017. That way you're owning it as of the beginning of 2018, and you can apply for all the homestead exemptions and all that kind of stuff. If there's any way to move the closing up, if the lenders could close on time.
Yeah, that's right.
December's always busy for us. I mean, really the last 3 months of the year typically are three of the busiest months that we have. So and just to kind of piggyback a little bit, so the actual HARP loan program is actually still there. As a matter of fact, it just got extended through December of 2018.
What's HARP stand for?
Home Affordable Refinance Program. Okay. So basically all that really is, if you have a if you're one of the few that still have a Fannie or Freddie loan that was taken out prior to May 31st of 2009, you're eligible for limited documentation product. Also has fee caps on it as well. Now they will be Fannie and Freddie will be coming out with an additional program that's going to help people that aren't just based into that category of this the prior to May 31st deal of 2009. So it's going to allow some other things. They're already doing some changes. We've started doing the day one certainty, which started last October, so it's been a little over a year now. We're seeing appraisal waivers on purchase transactions, on refinance transactions. We're seeing limited to no income documentation being required at all because we're able to pull that through third-party verification companies. So that's kind of it's going to morph the HARP along with this new product that Fannie and Freddie are going to kind of come out with together. So it's already basically there. They're just making some modifications to it now.
Now let's shift gears. Let's talk a little bit about, and if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We got Shawn Yesner, attorney Shawn Yesner here in studio, Jason Brooks as well, mortgage expert. What about, and I'll go back to Shawn here first, loan modifications. Are you seeing that the banks are working with loan modifications now, or are they a little bit more?
Yeah, I've been having a rough time getting loans modified lately. It seems like since HAMP went away, the banks really don't care anymore. I had one denied because the homeowner made too much money.
Yeah.
But the problem was they were too far in the hole to ever be able to catch it up.
Right.
And so, I've seen, it seems like denials are now more frequent. Denials are more than the norm now.
Yeah, and I think especially now that they see that the property values are increasing, a lot of them may have that insurance, the MI mortgage, on it, insurance rather. So that's a challenge, I think. Jason, you seeing some of that too?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't see that because I see it on the other side. People after a loan modification now doing refinance transactions to get out of the loan modifications. It's capitalism is real, right? I mean, we all know how business works, and at the end of the day, just like an insurance company, when a mortgage company is looking at a potential issue to get something off their books, they look at it from a very specific manner. How much money is this going to cost me, one way or the other?
Right.
And if there's, we're in an environment now where property values have gone up dramatically in the last 5 years.
Yep.
So a lot of the people that were underwater may not be now. And at the end of the day, talking to your point on private mortgage insurance and what it's there for, it insures the investor in case of loss.
That's right.
Up to 20% of the original loan value. So a lot of the times they're within that cap to where they can get all their money plus the insurance money back, which makes them whole, and they can move on and get that thing off their books. So
yeah.
Again, without the government pushing the home affordable modification program anymore, which is the HAMP loan, that's again it's left to the banks themselves. And again, it's I think something about it. It's like an 84% decrease over the last 5 years on modifications. So I mean, it's a huge. There's not a lot of defaulted loans out there in comparison to where we were.
Well, and then one of the issues that we're having, one of the things people don't understand is with mortgage insurance, it doesn't cover them. It covers the lender.
Right.
So a lot of homeowners come to me and say, well, I have mortgage insurance. I said, well, that's great. It covers the lender.
Right.
And so the mortgage insurance company is going to pay the lender. Then the mortgage insurance company is going to look to you to repay the loss. You, the borrower, the homeowner.
Let's talk about that.
Repay the loss.
So the backside of these deals, these transactions, whether it's a loan modification, it may be a short sale. If there is debt forgiven, let's walk that through.
If there's debt forgiven, then the homeowners will get a 1099, phantom income, a 1099-C. And so basically what happens is the IRS says, well, you got a benefit. You got a benefit because this is a debt that you're contractually obligated to pay that now you no longer have to repay. So you got a benefit. Instead of putting it in the bank's pocket, you can put it in your pocket. And anytime someone gets a benefit, Uncle Sam wants his cut. And so that's taxable. There was a law called the Mortgage Debt Relief Act that said that if the deficiency, if the 1099-C was based on a primary residence and the loan was used to buy or improve the house, so you put in a pool, you put on a new roof, you put in a room addition, you redid the kitchen, something like that, or you use the loan to buy the house, then the income, the 1099-C income, would not be taxable. That loan went away at the end of 2016, and so now people that are doing short sales, people that are losing houses in 2017, may have to pay tax on that forgiven debt.
Now,
that deficiency.
Is it taxed as ordinary income, or is that C different?
No, C is just, so there's the 1099-C, there's the 1099 MISC, miscellaneous, there's all different 1099 followed by a number. C is just the form, the letter that the IRS assigned to forgiveness of debt income.
Right.
But
I think it stands for charge off.
Charge off.
Charge off, yeah.
So, which would make sense, which would be where the C comes from.
Yep.
But it is taxed as ordinary income.
Interesting.
So yeah, whatever your tax bracket is how much money you pay on it.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. And then the banks got all the bailout money, and they gave their CEOs to presidents, and they bought all the best, the golden parachutes. And
but it's a reason to plug Jake Alexander and
there you go.
See if he can take the 1099-C income and chip away at it, so you don't pay that much tax on it.
That's right. That's a great point. Reach out to Jake Alexander Financial. Get that end of the year tax planning. Don't wait till tax time to do it. Do it now. And so here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we're going to help you win. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. Giving a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price, but without having to sign up for membership? Look no further at Signature Massage and Facial Spa. They offer a 1-hour Swedish massage for $49.95. Always no contracts. It's coming in early during the early bird hours and receive an additional $10 off. And for those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, or call them at 813-925-8898. 813-925-8898 to schedule an appointment. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get additional $10 off of your first service. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors. We're going to have some fun with you. Name that tune. And we've got 5 songs from Grammy Award winners of Song of the Year and our feel-good story of the week. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host, Consumer Quarterback Show. Jason Brooks in studio. Attorney Shawn Yesner in the house as well. And let's give a shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. Our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora. You got the Castile restaurant there, restaurant, lounge, rooftop. Beautiful pool area to hang out at as well. If you're a boater like me, I love boating on the weekends with Freedom Boat Club. We get out there on the weekends and hang out at the pool. Great pool, hot tub area to hang out at. Got bars, you got the rooftop is a gorgeous view of the Gulf of Mexico, the Intracoastal Waterway, bars up there as well. You can see the Don Cesar from the rooftop, and it's a great place to go hang out. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you if you want to book a staycation, and you're going to get 20% off of your room stay just by mentioning the Real Estate Quarterback Show, the REQB code. All right, back here in studio helping you win in any marketplace, having some fun. Today we're going to jump into our Name That Tune segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Name That Tune.
All right, so today's Name That Tune, we have today's list features Grammy Award winners for Song of the Year. And you read the year first with the list. Okay, so 1993, here we go. All Grammy Award winners today.
That's what, Tears in Heaven?
Tears in Heaven.
By
who sings it? Eric
Clapton.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, 2010. Here's one back in 2010.
Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Putting the ring on it. Beyonce. Single Ladies. All right.
At
song
every
number...
single wedding from that point forward.
There it was. Yes,
Right.
You could see it coming. All right, here we go. Song number 3.
It's a 1:15. I'm all alone and I need you now.
I think that's the title. I Need You Now. I think it's the title.
Yep, Need You Now.
And it's a country band.
Yep.
I can look at him.
Lady Antebellum.
Lady A. Good tune. Good tune. Here's a classic from 1989. Here we go.
Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Yeah. I had that as my ringtone.
Is it Bobby?
That's right.
Something or other.
McFerrin. Bobby McFerrin. I had that as my ringtone one time. I was so tired of the standard when I'm like, I got to get something here. All right, here we go. Song number 5. 2017.
That's Adele.
Adele. That's right. Name of the song?
I'm sorry.
And then Hello.
Hello.
I have no idea.
Yeah. All right, having some fun there.
I keep thinking of
that tune.
Lionel Richie song. When someone says hello, I keep waiting to hear, is it me you're looking for?
Yeah.
Different song.
Yeah, or what's the old joke with every time somebody says stop, you don't know whether drop it like it's hot or drop...
or Hammer Time.
Hammer Time. Yeah, I've seen that one on social media.
In the Name of Love.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Last night I pulled up Saturday Night Live. I love the Fire Stick, the Kodi app. I watched the very first Saturday Night Live from 1975. Some pretty interesting skits in there. And the music was pretty good too. I forgot the guy's name, but he's pretty good. But yeah, so
obviously,
and then name that tune. Yeah, name that tune. All right, so having some fun here. Now we're going to tell you something good. We always do something positive in the news and against the often negative media that you hear so much of. Let's tell you something good here.
Tell me something good.
All right, so a community has come together to buy a bike for a woman who's had her stolen. Bridget Coleman has cerebral palsy, and she can't drive, and any walking distance is a strain. So Coleman rode a special 3-wheel bike to her job at Arby's in Cedar Rapids. Last Friday, someone snipped the lock and rode off with it. Coleman was devastated. I was shocked and I was lost. I was crying, and she didn't know what she was going to do. She told CGRK News. But that shock turned into elation when she learned that her boss at Arby's had organized a fundraiser online to buy her a new bike. Arby's store manager Angie Takes made the first contribution to the GoFundMe page called Bike for Bridget. I'm trying to raise enough money to get her a new one. She needs one with 3 wheels and a basket, and she took a picture of it. We need to buy a good bike and lock and lights since she's riding it back and forth to work. Donate if you can. And as of Friday morning, $4,000 has been raised.
That'll get you a nice bike.
Yeah, 150 donors.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good feel-good story of the week. Telling you something good there. All right, so we're going to have our expert contributors here. Jason Brooks in the house, attorney Shawn Yesner. We're going to go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice.
Top tips. So all of the active duty and retired military out there, we'd love to talk to you about the potential to not only purchase a home, but also look at potentially leveraging the assets you have to start building wealth from the real estate side.
Yeah.
You guys have the best opportunity. You got the most eligibility from a loan to value perspective, and
that's right.
You know, you can borrow money at 100% with no mortgage insurance. Nobody else can do that. So we'd love to talk to you about what we can do to help you win, so to speak, and start building some real estate assets.
I like that.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
So we're going to help you also with Platinum MVP Realty. We're going to give you a 0.5 point discount back, rebate back to you as well in combination with eMortgage Management as well. So any veterans out there, we'd love to hear from you. 670-7372, Consumer Advocate Hotline, 670-7372, Tampa number at 813-670-REQB, or the website is consumerqb.com. Just submit the form at consumerqb.com. Attorney Shawn Yesner, parting words of wisdom.
Yeah, along those same veins, if you're a service member and you've got creditors chasing you, there is the Service Member Civil Relief Act. And so that's a law that provides certain protections to our military when they're being pursued by creditors. So if you're in the military and there's a creditor that's coming after you, give me a call and we'll look it up under the Service Member Civil Relief Act, see if it applies, and see what protections that it provides. It's fact specific, so it'll vary by the circumstances, but it may apply in certain circumstances.
That's interesting. That's the first I've heard of that. That's definitely something that we need to have in place.
We can. I know I've got my next appearance on the show scheduled, so we'll mark it down. We'll talk more about the Service Member Civil Relief Act when I come back.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's great. And I'd also take this time of year too and do some reflective thinking. I think so many times we're busy and we're kind of reacting throughout the week, throughout the day. This is a good time of year also as a business owner, or maybe you're just running your family, to do some reflective thinking. Think back to the year. Think about what's worked for you. What are you going to tweak next year? What are you going to do more of? What are you going to do less of? Think about the 80-20 rule. In 1895, Italian economist Wilfredo Pareto basically came to find that 80% of the wealth in his country, Italy, was owned by 20% of what he called the vital few. And it's interesting when you break down the 80-20 rule across economies, across all types of businesses, you see that 20% of the activities for a salesperson, a business person, is going to contribute to 80% of your success. So what you want to do is break that down, find out what are the key top 2 or 3 things that you're doing on a daily basis that helps you move the needle forward, and everything else you want to have an assistant do. You want to delegate that out to someone else that can be more appropriate for that task. So think about that. Think about going out there as well and committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute to work, handing it to that person that you see in need. Of course, this is a great time of year as well to donate clothing. It's starting to get cooler out. Clothing, toys, anything you have. Be a force for good. Go out there and do something kind for someone else, and continue to tune into our show. Check us out on social media at Brandon Rhymes PA, at Consumer QB Show as well on Facebook, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter and Instagram as well. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.